See, this is me, Boba Fett.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Chiss Ascendancy podcast. This is Josiah, and guys, we are on day 7 of 30 days of Boba Fett. That means we've been doing this for a whole week now, and today's video is focusing on Boba Fett, Darth Vader's brother. You heard it right. I know that you think I'm making this up, but I'm not. And so, obviously, Boba Fett is a huge part of Star Wars history. Over the last couple of days, we've talked a lot about different lore, canon, legends, and all those kinds of things. But there was a legend that almost was, that did not come to be, and that was the fact that George Lucas, to my understanding, pretty heavily considered the idea of making Boba Fett brothers with Darth Vader, also known as Anakin Skywalker, and even thought about revealing this fact in the prequels. And so there's a book that came out before the prequels called Skywalking, The Life and Films of George Lucas. It's by a man named Dale Pollock. And in that book, George's ex-wife, Marcia Lucas, who was also an editor on Star Wars and had a big hand in the creating of the original trilogy, stated that George, and we know George has thought about a lot of stuff. He talked about it in his, if he did the sequel trilogy, that he would make everything about the spiritual side of the Force and kind of that midi-chlorians type stuff. So it's funny because we all want George to come back, and I know I would love to know more about midi-chlorians, but a lot of people complained about it. So one of those rabbit trails that he was considering was the concept of in the prequels, the revelation coming to pass that Boba Fett and Darth Vader are either brothers or half-brothers or something like that. And it's really interesting because in Legends, of course, we talked about in Boba Fett, Enemy of the Empire, you have Boba Fett, who is just a bounty hunter hired by Darth Vader to find the casket that contains the head of the witch who can tell the future. In canon, Boba Fett and Darth Vader meet because Boba Fett is running a mission for Darth Vader to find out who is the pilot who blew up the Death Star. It actually, in canon, Boba Fett is actually the person who reveals to Darth Vader that the last name of the pilot who blew up the Death Star is Skywalker. So before Vader even knew it, Boba Fett was actually the one that dropped the news that revealed to Vader that Luke was his son and his son was the one who blew up the Death Star. And so it's a very interesting concept. I know that it's funny, the first time we ever see Boba Fett is at a parade in California. It's just a local parade where Darth Vader and some of the first sets of preview armor for Boba Fett walked in a parade together. And you can actually see this in the Under the Helmet documentary on Disney Plus, but they talk about how much of instant popularity Boba Fett had, and there's a lot of really cool little knickknacks and stuff in there. But yeah, Marcia Lucas said that George was considering in the prequels. Now this is before the prequels were being made. This was just George had the whole story of the Skywalker saga in his mind, and he decided that A New Hope, Episode 4, was the greatest section of the story to take and tell individually. George did not expect Star Wars to succeed, especially at the rate that it ended up succeeding. So the idea was, let's take the best elements of this story, the best, segment, and let's make that a movie. And that's why Star Wars starts in Episode 4. And so when he was considering going back, Marcia reveals that showing, I guess, somehow that Boba Fett and Darth Vader were brothers, and obviously there's a lot of similarities between the two. Very, very huge fan favorites, huge, great hand-to-hand combatants. Obviously, Vader is a Sith Lord, Boba is a bounty hunter, but both of them kind of have a mask for a face. And it made me start thinking, if I could have a wish list of items that you guys, by and large, people would hate, similar to Rian Johnson. I think one of the reasons that so many people are angry at him is because he got to do what we all want to do. He got to make a Star Wars movie, and he got to put in his ideas into Star Wars. And so if I got to make a movie, I think it would be super cool if, what if, I don't know, Boba Fett's an anti-hero. He's not like a great guy, but it would be awesome if Boba Fett, somehow the Force kicked back at Palpatine and the Sith's plan to overthrow the Jedi using the clones. And what if one of the unaltered clones, which ironically he's the only one that's unaltered now until Omega, but what if somehow during the cloning process he has Force abilities to an extent or something like that. But it's just an interesting fact. So day 7 of 30 days of Boba Fett, we were this close to having a brother pair of Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader, and the one and only Boba Fett. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it, like and subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and thank you once again for tuning in to the Chiss Ascendancy.